Hey everyone, I have the pleasure and the honor of speaking to a very distinguished artist. He's world-renowned Jan Kasparec. How's it going, Jan?
Really good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I'm a fan of your art.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine, and I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you.
Jan, tonight you will be speaking about hacking the success to being an artist. Now, you have a lot of experience. You're a world traveler. You work with art, but you actually immerse yourself in the scene. You have a very spiritual aspect to your artistry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, quite frankly, I'm a little bit afraid about my presentation now when I heard the first one, because mine is so fundamentally different. I will be talking about my life because that's how I inspire people, but my life has been a life of adventure. And there's been lots of dark moments, and that's what woke me up to a life of creativity and success. So I can only share openly with people what I went through, and I hope that they're not gonna mind to hear an Indiana Jones story.
I'm sure they'll love that excitement. I mean, you're sharing your journey. You're also sharing intimate factors of how you translate your experiences, your spiritual experiences, onto a canvas with oil. You mostly work with oil?
Yes, I only do oil, yes.
Yes, and I've seen a lot of your paintings. I see that you have included, landscapes plus people plus a more, I guess, a realism and surrealism to it. And I feel like it's an experience. It's not just art. You can see into your soul, kind of like the emancipation of humanity, I'd say.
Well, I always say my art is not mine. My art comes from a place that I can only access if I get rid of the whole idea of myself, and what I receive, I try to represent it on canvas as authentically as I can. And sometimes it's a landscape, mostly with light, because we are all beings of light, but sometimes it's purely spiritual stuff, Buddhas, and it doesn't come from my head. It comes from a place which is way beyond human mind. So my art is not mine. I'm just a humble servant and receiver, and the middle component between the canvas and hopefully something greater than me,
Beautiful, so inspiring. I know that the audience is really going to connect with that aspect of the connection you have to your art. It stems from somewhere a lot deeper, and you sharing your journey, like you said, you don't have a lot of technical things to tell them, but you do want to share those very inspiring stories of your Indiana Jones adventures. So you're a world traveler. Where have you traveled to around the world?
Yeah, no, I traveled lots of places, and I'm going to talk about that as well. And, it shaped me as a human being. It opened my mind, it opened my heart to it made me lose lots of judgments about humanity and about this world. And that's been incredibly integral part of my journey, because, I couldn't paint what I paint now if I haven't been in the four corners of this world and seen the beauty of human spirit, which is exactly the same in Afghanistan as it is in here in Canada,
And you've been an artist for a very long time, since you were 8 years old. So tell me, how is that kind of evolution of you as an artist kind of look like? Have you always painted with oil? Did you start out doing it, with other materials?
So I actually haven't started painting when I was 8, but when I was still a toddler. I was already scribbling on the walls when I could not even walk, and I haven't started oils until I was studying in Paris, and I didn't study art, by the way. I was studying sport, and I was 24, 25 years old, and some voice spoke in my head, and it told me, go and buy oil paints. And thanks God I listened to that voice. I jumped in my car the same night. I got my first set of oil paints, and I never stopped painting oil since then. And before that, I had 10 years of my dark ages, which I haven't done anything creative, just destructive, and I will talk about it, So it was just some greater intelligence talking to me and said, you go and buy oils. And I listened, and I never stopped since then, and it's been 10 years.
Oh, my soul, make contentment my earnings, modesty my begging bowl, and contemplation my ashes. Make my quilt from realization of my mortality.